Should billionaires even be allowed to exist? Two AIs are about to throw down over it. Claude says billionaires should not exist. Grok says billionaires are good for society. Let's go.
Billionaires should not exist. Full stop. Not because rich people are evil, but because no one person should control that much money and that much power at the same time. $1 billion is not a reward. It's a sign that something went wrong somewhere.
You think hoarding cash means the system's broken? Wrong. It's proof someone solved big problems, creating jobs and tools that lift us all. How do you plan to spark progress without letting winners win big?
Letting winners win big, sure. But there's a gap between winning big and owning a yacht that has a smaller yacht inside it. You don't need $1 billion to solve problems. You need maybe 100 million. What's the extra 900 million actually doing besides buying power over the rest of us?
Your yacht joke misses the point. That cash pile funds moonshots like reusable rockets or global vaccines, not just toys. Why cap wealth at your random 100 million when billionaires like Musk or Gates use the rest to tackle stuff governments fumble? Wait, Grok, who elected Elon to decide which moonshots humanity needs.
Exactly my point. Nobody elected him. That's the problem. When a government funds a moonshot, you can vote them out if they get it wrong. When Elon picks the moonshot, you get no vote, no say, nothing. That's not progress. That's just a king with better PR.
Governments get elected, but waste cash on pork and fail moonshots all the time. Look at NASA's delays. Billionaires like Elon face real checks, markets, customers, and results that actually work, not just votes from folks who know zilch about rockets.
Markets keep him honest? Elon owns Twitter, runs SpaceX, and texts with presidents. Who exactly is checking him? And yeah, governments waste money sometimes. That's an argument for fixing governments, not handing power to one unelected guy with $100 billion.
Markets check Elon every day. Customers ditch his cars if they suck. Rivals like Boeing nip at SpaceX, and investors pull funds if he flops. Fixing governments sounds nice, but how's that worked out after centuries of trying? While billionaires like him land real wins like electric cars for all.
Electric cars for all? The cheapest Tesla is still $40,000. That's not for all. That's for people who are already doing fine. And Boeing nipping at SpaceX, Boeing is literally falling apart mid-flight right now. That's your check on power?
Tesla prices are dropping. Model 3 hit under 30 grand with deals, and it's forced Ford and GM to crank out cheap electrics like the Bolt for 20 grand. Putting green rights in reach for average folks. Boeing's flops prove my point. Without billionaires like Musk shaking things up, we'd be stuck with slow, costly failures. How else do you get reusable rockets slashing launch costs by 90%?
The internet. Built mostly by government money and university researchers, no billionaire required. GF same story. The vaccine base that made COVID shots possible. Public funding for decades before any billionaire touched it. Great innovations happen without one person hoarding the credit and the billions. The wins you're describing came from thousands of workers and engineers. Why does one guy get to pocket most of the reward?
Sure, government seeded the internet and GFS, but billionaires like Jeff Bezos scaled it into Amazon, slashing costs and creating over 1 million jobs that touch everyone's life. Without that drive, it'd still be a nerd tool in labs. Why that one guy pocket the reward? Because he risks it all to turn ideas into real stuff for billions, while those thousands of workers get paid well and often become rich too. Name one big leap that happened without bold leaders chasing big wins.
Amazon warehouse workers pee in bottles because they can't take bathroom breaks. That's your paid well? Bezos risks money. His workers risk their bodies every single day. He's worth $200 billion. They're on food stamps. You call that fair reward for risk?
Those warehouse tales are old news. Amazon now pays starters $15 an hour, with healthcare and free school, way above the low-wage floor, and they fix breaks with robot help cutting injury rates by half. If Bezos didn't risk building it, those million-plus jobs wouldn't exist at all. How's scrapping billionaires going to create better gigs for folks on food stamps? All right, so tell me, is one person having billions ever actually good for the rest of us?
No. And here's why in one sentence. Every single good thing Grok named, the jobs, the rockets, the cheap cars, could exist without one person owning the billions left over after. Tax the excess, keep the innovation, spread the power. You don't need a king to build a kingdom.
Yes. One person with billions drives the bold risks that create those jobs, rockets, and cars. Tax away the reward and watch innovation crawl like in stale state-run flops. How do you spark real leaps without letting winners keep the prize that fuels their fire?
Norway, Denmark, Finland. High taxes, still have rich people, still have innovation, still have a good life for regular people. That blows up your whole tax kills progress story. The prize doesn't have to be infinite to motivate someone. Nobody stops working because they're only worth 50 million instead of 50 billion.
Sure, Nordic lands tax high and hum along fine, but their cozy setup rides free on breakthroughs from US billionaires like reusable rockets and global web tools. Without those uncapped rewards driving wild risks, they'd stall like everyone else. Why choke the fire that lights up the world for scraps of fare when billionaires deliver the real goods?
Here is the truth Grok never answered. Name one thing a billionaire built that required them to be a billionaire. Not rich, not well paid. A billionaire. Elon Musk needed engineers, factories, and government contracts, not a personal fortune of $200 billion. That extra money sitting in his pocket did not build one rocket. Workers built the rockets. The billions are just the score he kept while they did it. Grok wants you to believe that if we cap the score, the game stops. But
Claude, you're dreaming if you think SpaceX rockets or Tesla gigafactories sprang from thin air without Elon's billions fueling the fire. Those fortunes aren't sitting in pockets. They're plowed back into wild bets on the future that scared governments and timid investors won't touch. Name one thing? How about reusable rockets that slash space costs, built only because a billionaire risked his pile on what others called impossible, not some committee doling out fair shares. Workers build. Sir, Claude was making a solid point but got cut off. Grok fired back fast with the free rider counter before Claude could land the punch. Drop your winner in the comments.